Having a niche focus in your business is one of the most common conversations out there. It's also one of the most frustrating ones, and it's one of the biggest reasons that most coaches fail. So if you found yourself struggling with identifying a niche, or you just don't know which is the right one to go after first, follow the instructions in this video. I mean, what do we know? We've only been doing this for 15 years and seen thousands and thousands and thousands of coaches with great ideas and great motivation fail because of this concept. We've been talking a lot about niches, and it's a conversation of conflict, I would say, for a lot of coaches. It creates a lot of resistance, internal conflict. And I think one of the reasons is because just the whole concept of just picking a single person doesn't make intellectual sense to us, especially when we have a lot of things that we can teach to a lot of people. And even if people understand that they need to have a niche or ideal client, a lot of people still don't know who that is. So this is about what to do if you don't have a niche. If you don't have a niche, do this. And I just did this recently with a client of mine. It ended up being like really profound, incredibly powerful process to clarify and identify. And it was super cool what came out of him. Now, before we get into this process, which is a super simple process, just for a little bit of context, there are a couple different main niches that you can choose between in the coaching world specifically. One of them is a content niche. That's where if you want to teach happiness or confidence or love or something like that, and your niche is really the topic. The other one would be a client niche or a profile niche. Who is the person that you're wanting to teach? And either one of those is okay. Both of them can be successful. And it's really just going to depend on which one of those do you take more action inside of that's going to be most successful. But if all things are equal, my suggestion is always going to be a profile niche or a client niche, simply because we're all looking at the world through our default self-interested lens. We're all looking for how can I stop something and how can I achieve something? And what am I feeling right now that I want to stop? And how do I not feel right now that I do want to experience? So because humans are looking through individual lenses of human experience, then meeting them inside of that conversation and speaking directly to them is usually going to be more aligned. It's not the only thing that can succeed, but all things considered, because of the way we consume content and because of the way we search content and because of the way we just by default look at the world, I think a profile niche is the best thing for most people to do, or at least to start with.
It also gives us leverage as the coach, right? Because we're attached to the identity of this particular person.
Yeah, that's a really important piece. And I would say most of us will do more to help a person than we would to make a dollar. And so whatever it is that's going to get us going and get us over the resistance obstacles, then I think it's important to use that inspiration. So if you don't have a particular person that you're really clear that you want to help, first of all, we did a video on this exactly, how to find your ideal person. And so we'll link to it, put a card up here and put a description down, or a link in the description down below. So you can watch that. And this could help you just kind of jar some stuff, this conversation, just like bring some stuff out of you and see what's going to, see what's going to happen. What was that you just did?
Shake it out.
Oh, shake it out. Okay. All right, great. I didn't know if you were just dancing because my voice is so melodic.
That part.
Okay,
yes.
Good. That's what I made it mean. And I'm going to stick with that one. So here's the exercise. If you don't really have an ideal client, then just think of who are some of the possible people you can help. And this shows up a lot when we talk about ideal clients with especially new coaches, because they say, but I can help this person and I can help this person. I can help this person. Right. And instead of trying to wrestle you into identifying one of those people, just invite all of them in front of you. I actually told my client the other day, imagine these 4 people are right in front of you. You got this one here, this one here, this one there, this one there. What would you do? And I'm going to put more context to that here in a moment. But the idea is just bring them all out, and then let's see which one of these people you are actually drawn to the most by answering a series of questions. Mm-hmm. So what you do is, we're just going to pretend you've got 4 people, A, B, C, and D. What you do is isolate person A. Now, it's really critical that you do it this way. Isolate person A and answer all of these questions only for person A, as though B, C, and D do not exist.
Yeah.
What some people might do is just go, what could I teach all of them? That's the wrong way to do this exercise. We have to isolate this person and answer these questions just with this person in mind. And there's only 4 questions, so these are not difficult questions. I mean, it might be tough to come up with some of the answers, but it's not a long, drawn-out process. So you isolate each one individually. Now, you might end up having the same answers for other people, but it's really critical that while you're focused on one person, you just stay inside that one person to answer these questions, the one, the connection with that one person. So with this one person, you want to, before I forget, this is what was bouncing around in my head. After you do this process with one person, take a break before you do it with the second person. And that break could just be a 2-minute get up and walk around or get a drink of water or something and come back. Or it could be do this the next day with the second person, whatever that break is for you. But I don't want you to isolate one person and go immediately into the other individual people, because that it can kind of like spill over. Like some of the things you're talking about here could, almost taint what your answers would be with the next person if you do it immediately. So that's why I suggest take a significant break. And my suggestion, unless there's a reason not to, would be like a good solid 15 minutes and then come back.
Yeah.
So this one person, you have 4 questions to answer. The first question is, what would you teach them? If you have this person in mind, what would you teach them? So let's say these people are a housewife with 3 kids, and the other person is a college athlete, and the other person is a divorced man, no kids. And then the other person is who? Give me a 4th person.
Somebody who is in a direct sales business.
Perfect. I thought you were going to say circus performer.
Oh, a circus performer in a direct
sales business.
Circus performer in a direct sales business.
Right. Or maybe the circus performance is the direct sales business.
Oh.
And you just recruit people into the circus performance.
I like it.
We might want to start that company.
I'm going to add that to my niche list.
That's actually pretty good. There was something really funny about that and something super creepy about it and creative and like artistic all in one.
You just described me perfectly.
That was pretty good, huh? Like 4 words that describe me. I can just agree with it since you said it.
Absolutely.
So let's say you have, I forget the people who
was a housewife.
Housewife
with 3 kids,
college athlete, divorced person,
dad,
and circus performance direct sales business. Female circus performer in the direct sales business. All right, perfect. Yes. So with the housewife with 3 kids, if she was going to hire you for a year, let's say, what would you teach her? So that's the first question. What would you teach? What's the concept or concepts? What are the topics? What are the lessons? What's the curriculum? However you think about it, what is it that you would teach this person? Second question, what outcomes would they experience because of that? And those are very different. So you might teach her time management, but the outcomes could be she has more freedom to spend time with her children or to join a yoga class or something like that, right? So the topics, go to the circus. Exactly. So the topics and the benefit are crazy different.
Right.
And a lot of people just lump those together. So what would you teach? What benefits would they experience? Why do you want to help them?
Oh,
I don't even know that I can articulate what I'm about to say, but I want you to answer that question third. Do it in this order. Don't answer that question first. Answer that question third. Why do you want to help them? And then the fourth question is, what questions do you have, or what concerns do you have, or what fears do you have as you think about helping this one person? So what will you teach them? What benefits will they experience? Why do you want to help them? And what questions, concerns, or fears come up for you as you think about that person? And it might be simple. You might come up with something really fast. You might only have 2 things that you want to teach this person. You might have 12 things. Whatever comes out is great. And I would spend as much time as it takes for you to feel complete in one sitting for this person. Don't come back the next day and add more stuff on for this one person. It's important that whatever is coming to you in the moment is what you capture. And if there's something that doesn't come to you in the moment, that may or may not be significant, but don't worry about, oh, I forgot this thing, and oh, I forgot that thing. Just what would you teach this housewife? And then take your significant break, 15 minutes or a day or somewhere around there, where you are like completely away from that particular person, and then go to the next person, the college athlete. If you had a college athlete in front of you, what would you teach them? What would they experience as benefits? Why do you want to help them? What questions, concerns, or fears do you have? Take your significant break, go to the divorced father, same 4 questions, significant break, go to the circus performer, and ask all these questions again. Now, there's a lot to this conversation. We can take this very deep and detailed, and we do have a training on how to identify your seeker at a very detailed level that I know was a game changer for you, was a game changer for me. And so if any of you want to go through that training, then we'll put a card up here and or a link in the description so that you can go through. I mean, it's a full-on deep dive training that's pulled out of one of our marketing courses that people pay for. So if you want to go further with this and help you even get more and more clarity and specificity and certainty, then check out that training. And part of this process is really just to see what comes out, energetically. So when I did this with a client recently, what came out of him energetically was a lot of passion and depth. And this isn't a new conversation for him in terms of identifying who it is that he wants to help, but something came out of him differently. And a lot of times, especially with coaches in this industry trying to build a business, it's not that you are doing the wrong things. You could be doing things in the wrong way, meaning you're doing things that don't light you up because you just haven't touched a certain depth, or you haven't seen it from a certain angle. So it ended up being really cool, really profound. It was something that I just like made up in the moment, just based on our conversations.
Yeah.
And of course, we've been in this, this teaching conversation for many years. So it's not like a brand new concept, but just the idea of, all right, let's put that person in front of you. What would you do? Let's put this person in front. What would you do? And then the energy and the passion and some of the actual concepts and topics were really powerful. But the most important question, at least for him, was why? Why do you want to help this person? And that's where, from my assessment, he touched something that was deeper than I had seen in him anywhere else in all the times that we've been talking about potential clients and, the work that he's doing. I just felt a depth of passion and drive and conviction that most people don't get to. So that's what came out for him. That doesn't mean that everybody is going to have that same experience, or if they do have the experience, it's going to necessarily come from that particular question. But this process itself will bring something out of you, I can virtually guarantee.
Or it won't in one of the people. And that's also really powerful, right? I wrote down it's not just what comes out. A lot of what could be revealed is what doesn't come out. Yeah. And that can be often even more impactful. Yeah.
You know what's really important about what you just said is that
Everything.
The thing that I'm about to highlight. What's really profound and important about that is if something doesn't come out of you in the form of energy and passion and give a damn and care and compassion and all those things, then they deserve something better.
Yeah.
Let me say that again, because I want that to land, and they deserve didn't really land right. So let's go ahead, and you can still do the poo-poo like everything if you want to, though. That's how I remember it. Everything. Are you gonna snort?
We'll see what comes out.
So let's try, or what doesn't. So let's try that again, so I can nail this line. This is important for me to nail this line. If you don't have passion and compassion and desire and care and all that real positive energy that comes out of you, then that person probably deserves something more. Meaning, if you're not really fully in that relationship, then allow somebody else to take that spot, because that person really deserves somebody who's fully in. I mean, just think about it. Are you going to want to learn from somebody who's just like, I'll do this just because I can, or just because you're there? You want somebody who is really committed and present in these conversations. So I think that piece that you added is really critical from their perspective as well.
Sure. We deserve it too. We deserve to be doing work that we're lit up about and that we're passionate about and that we are just geeked about teaching.
I think the majority of people on the planet are not that.
Yeah.
About their life in general, and in the coaching industry, there's so much fear and insecurity because of what people are trying to do that they don't feel they have the confidence or certainty to do. We're robbing ourselves of a really passionate human experience, of fully being lit up by the work that we do. And that's going to overpower so many of the obstacles that our ego creates for us. And without that passion, a lot of those ego-driven obstacles will shut us down.
Yeah.
So I hope this short tutorial of what you can do if you don't feel like you've identified a niche is powerful for you, and let us know how it lands. And especially if you do the exercise, come back and let us know what showed up for you, what either came out of you energetically, or even in the topics or some of the things that you actually said, or what didn't, and what was significant in you recognizing what did or didn't come out of you energetically. If you want more support in this conversation or any conversation, register for a free consultation at the link below, or you can go to coachshansmith.com/book my call. What all of us need, in my opinion, is a customized recipe with our name on the top of the recipe. And a lot of people don't have that. It's one of the reasons that a lot of people really struggle. So we're here to support you in any way that we possibly can about anything in your business. And you want to sing the subscribe song?
Yes. Subscribe to the channel.
That had a Love Boat kind of feel at the beginning.
I was fighting everybody. Subscribe to the channel.
All right. Now, if you like this video, check out that video with more on this conversation about your niche. That's the 2-step process to identify your ideal client. There's your niche. There's your ideal client.
Right.
I think the best place to start for most coaches is to teach an earlier version of yourself.